This is Cynthia Ortiz. It is April 30th, 2023, Sunday. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. Here is the disclaimer. We assert all constitutional rights, but especially First Amendment, free expression, freedom of speech, and equal protection to the laws that are intended to protect women from domestic violence, human trafficking, sex exploitation, obstruction of justice, perjury, selective prosecution. This is what police are supposed to do. In connecting the dots here, I have it here. When you have a stalking victim in your jurisdiction, use of technology teaches law enforcement a little bit about how stalkers are using hacking phones, cloning phones, hacking the computer, and so forth to stalk a victim. There's other links here as well. There's not a day that goes by that I don't get threatened with death, kidnapping, false arrest, loss of income, loss of property. And today, Mr. Perry's contacting me. He did clone my phone and just types in it. And I can't fucking hardly get anything done half the time because he's just badgers and badgers and pesters and bothers and badgers and pesters and threatens and harasses and harasses. And so today he's asking me if Greg Abbott is helping me, and he's asking because we always catch him before he does the stuff that he tries to do. Not all of it, but most of it. We've got an email. We've got just a recording. The recording is played for me by the officers that get the recording. I type an email. We document the threat. We document what was said. And then if Mr. Perry does it, we've got him on premeditation and a malicious aforethought. We've got hundreds on the same topic a lot of times, because what he'll do is he'll plan something. We catch him. He'll they say table it for a little bit, let the dust settle, and to create a panacea so she thinks everything's okay, and then we'll try again. So they discuss this again. We get him again. Now we got two. We only need one, but now we have two. And they've done that over and over and over and over. And so a lot of time, what is it you guys think we're going to do with all that? I mean, we want to know because we're at a loss. When you do something, normally you set a goal. You have a goal in mind. And you have an expected outcome in mind. And when you're doing the same thing every day that gets you as far away from that goal as you could be, you have a goal to go to Los Angeles, California, and you're driving east. And everyone's laughing at you going, you're not getting to get to LA from Oklahoma driving east. I mean, you're not going to do it. You're going to get to New York or somewhere on the east part of the country, but you're not going to get to LA. LA's west. So we're watching them. There's a very distinct pattern. This is the pattern that has gone on now for 7 years. Longer than 7 years, 7 years that they know of. It started with what we call the McNamara email. The first time we talked about Mr. Perry trying to, threatening me with a false arrest, a kidnapping. When you invade my privacy, when you contact me, when you cause problems for me, when you cause loss for me, the more you invade my privacy, the more you bother and bother and bother and bother, and the more you make me broke, the more we get. The more we get. It tends to hit people's emotions when you hurt other people. And especially does it when you don't give a fuck who you hurt or how bad you hurt them. If you watch the news, normal people, we think that what's happening is they've got a little club of weird where they got a group of about 30 guys. I don't know. We don't know how they met. Weirdo chat room or something. We don't know. They've formed a corporation and they sell humans. They're human traffickers. And they do sexual exploitation. Charles Perry is a part of that. And they convince themselves that they're okay. And that what they're doing is okay. And it's going to be nobody okay. There's not going to be any consequences. And the whole rest of the world doesn't think like that and doesn't see it the way you see it. We're dealing with men who have sociopathic and sadistic minds. Because normal people cannot hurt another person intentionally. We all we may hurt each other's feelings without meaning to. And when we do, we go to them usually and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I mean, I have a big family here in Oklahoma, and occasionally we hurt each other's feelings, and we go to the other one and we go, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. I really didn't mean to. Because you don't mean to. But these men, maliciously and intentionally, will blow up a life and not think twice about it. And their only question is, who told on us? Yeah, today Mr. Perry's asking me, this man put me out on the street, made me homeless, took everything I owned, wrecked my car 4 times in 3 years. Can't figure out why I don't want to date with him. Tried to kill me. The other thing that we've heard, I'll talk about several of the different things that our guys got intel. It's called actionable intel, Mr. Perry. They have a court order to invade your privacy. You just have a weirdo problem that you can't control. So Mr. Perry's a voyeur, and these guys caught it. They caught it. It began with a human rights violation complaint, sir. And so deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce, or deprivation of food and shelter, so you upset women, and when they get hysterical, you go, as the witness said, rub one out. You just like getting people pissed off. So you watch the news and you see something like Hurricane Katrina. People were outraged at what some of those victims went through, who were stuck in the flooding and not given food or shelter or rescued in a timely manner. The same thing with 9/11, the same thing with shootings. Everybody is angry at the person, the shooter. The shooter's not the hero. The shooter's the villain. Everybody hurts for the victims, hurts for them. If you're normal, you have empathy. Mr. Perry never, he'll say he's sorry when he gets caught. And then the next question out of his mouth is, who told on me? And you're like, oh my God, you're not sorry that you did this, because if you were, you would make it right and stop. You're sorry you got caught. You're fishing for a cover-up, and it's not going to happen. I'm never going to help you. I don't know why the hell you think I would. No one understands why the fuck you think I would ever help you. 13 years I have not helped you. Never have I helped you. Why would I start now? We have so much crap that we've accumulated over the years, evidentiary-wise. We don't know why the fuck you think that we would do all this hard work, go through all this stuff. I've sacrificed everything I own. Why would I do that and help you? Nobody understands why in the fuck you think that. And today, is Jim leaking? Is Greg Abbott helping you? We found a new lead. Like he thinks that's going to make me happy. I'm here. Like he thinks that would make me happy. And I'm like, oh my God, the fuck. So we did find out, part of the intel that we discovered was that Mr. Perry has Huntington's disease. Our shrink thought he had Alzheimer's or senile dementia, because he never responds like he understood what the fuck you just said. He always responds like he has no idea. It's always inappropriate. It's inappropriate that he contacted me. And the more he does, the more we get. The more he invades my privacy, the more we get. The longer I'm broke, because he's taking everything I have, trying to force me into something I don't want to do, the more we get. So our goal is he goes to jail. And there's no more. No more hurt. No more bothering. No more pestering. No more loss. I won't be broke ever again. And I won't have to lie. And I won't have to suck anybody's dick. Trafficking and exploitation. Trafficking is that. It's prostitution. He's the pimp. So we call it a traffic daddy. So forgive the vulgarity, but it's a sex crime. So there's vulgarity in it, unfortunately. I have to discuss that when I do the podcast. So, he's not understanding my options are far beyond what he has to offer me. Mr. Perry has sold me to a man in Houston. And the man is a realtor. Took half the money up front. He's desperate to deliver me to get the other half. And then I'll be dead in a week. They want to make me sign an affidavit. And here's the thing, Mr. Perry, today, the big discussion was, in all the meetings, she wasn't supposed to know there was an affidavit. See, normally this works, because normally what they wanted to do for the past 3-4 weeks now do this second false arrest. Prostitution by sock. So I'm dancing. I take my shoes off so they don't poke a hole in the furniture. Other girls have their shoes off too. Their feet hurt, or they don't want to poke a hole in the furniture. I have my feet covered with socks. I think I'm the only one that does, because a cop told me to cover them, keep my feet covered. When I asked them, what's the deal with taking your shoes off? It's a minor infraction, but they call it prostitution. Well, prostitution involves sex. Prostitution involves money has to be exchanged hands. Well, the money exchanged is for a lap dance. It isn't for taking your shoes off. Some women take their shoes off, like I said, because your feet hurt. Some so they don't poke a hole in the furniture. And there's zero sex in taking your shoes off. You're giving a lap dance with your shoes off so you don't poke a hole in the furniture. Period. But he needs a smear campaign. And I'm going to tell you, here's the thing. As far as if we're talking about outcomes and results, I can get information and intel at the snap of a finger. I'm going to repeat that, because Mr. Perry's he's got Huntington's disease. Our intel answered the question of, why do you have to repeat yourself for this guy all the time? And why does he always act like he has no fucking idea what you just said? Always a fail at the proper response. Always. Acts like he can't fucking understand a word you said. He does the same thing every day that gets the same results. And that is always, we get more intel. He doesn't get information. He doesn't get any help. He doesn't get a date. And he doesn't traffic me. Most women don't know they've been trafficked before. We get it before, not after. So all we care about is results. The goal is he goes to jail. We got so much evidence against him that he's buried in what he's done in a court of law. And we get a guilty verdict. And we get restitution for the victims. They're even looking at different ways within their agency to get Mike and I restitution up front before there's a verdict, because normally there's a verdict first and the victims have to wait, and then there's restitution over time. They're even talking about, you guys have sacrificed so fucking much, everything you have, everything you are, to catch this particular group of bad guys. What we would like to do is get you paid immediately after their arrests. And then we can seek some restitution ourselves and see if the defendants can't pay us. They're looking into seeing what can be done on that. Because that way y'all don't have to wait, because this has been help for you. It's been help for Mike. And we think the first two people that should be paid is you too. There's a lot of victims, and we're not the only victims. There's a lot of hurting people, a lot of hurting families, a lot of hurting little children. Mr. Perry couldn't give a fuck. He really couldn't. His only question is, how did you know? How did you find out before? Is Greg Abbott helping you? Did Jim leak? We think we have a new lead. I'm here. Oh my God. Do you see the madness in that? First of all, I'm never going to help you. You have a lot of nerve that you would ask. You have a lot of nerve that you would fucking ask for my help. So these conversations are happening that are weird. Mr. Perry's doing the same thing that giving him results he says he doesn't want. He just gets told on. That's it. We get more intel. That's it. It's been 7 years of this. 8 years of this. Why would you do the same thing every day that gets your results you say you don't want for that long? It's not a day. It's not a week. It's not a month. It's not a year. It's 7 years. Every day. All day long. I spend a majority of my time typing up what they just said. So, that's never happened before. From what I understand, no other victim does that or has that kind of intel. Why is it different when you do it to me? New ball game, new players. So, what happens is, when we're looking at all this, the mental state, like, why would anyone do that? Well, it's not even benefiting him, and he still does it anyway. He knows when he contacts me, it's going to piss everybody off because he's been told to stop it. He knows not to take my money, that he has to give back what he took and get the fuck out of my life. Or, and when he doesn't, we get more intel, and he knows that, and he does it anyway. He fucks everything up anyway. So, he's offered me bribes. I won't take them. That's the other thing he typed in my phone. quote me a price. My price is you give back what you took from me and get the fuck out of my life. Period. Stop making me repeat myself. So we're trying to figure out, why do we have to always say the same thing? I mean, I've worked around politicians, I've elected officials on the federal level more than the state, because I did federal government reform. My granddad was an elected official. I worked with surgeons. Never in my life did I ever have to repeat myself. Not even once. Much less with Mr. Perry. It's over and over and over and over. You say the same thing, and it just isn't clicking. He's not all there. So we find out he's got Huntington's disease. Well, he's told people he's got Tourette's. I guess some of the symptoms present the same, but he doesn't have Tourette's. He's diagnosed mentally ill, diagnosed mentally retarded, which is interesting because our shrink said that. She said he's suffering from severe mental illness and severe mental retardation. He has no fucking idea what you said. I've read his emails. They got your emails. They read through them. She said his responses are 3 to 5 sentences, 3 to 5 words per sentence. We haven't responded like that since first grade. So why is that? I'm reading through it, and it looks like he doesn't understand what was said in the email. To him, he's just kind of doing the best he can. He's not going to pass cognitive reasoning of a first grader, because when he does the crime to you, he gets caught. He does the crime to you, he gets caught. He does the crime to you, he gets caught. He does the crime to you, he gets caught. We get the information before, not after. It's different when he does it to you, but it's the same every time he does it. These are easy concepts anybody could get. First grader could get it. He's not getting it. He doesn't know. He's unable to identify his legislative duties. He doesn't know what state he legislates in. And you have to say the same thing to him all the time. Something's wrong with him. So what is it? Is it senile dementia? Is it Alzheimer's? What's wrong with this guy? Turns out he's got Huntington's disease, our intel tells us. So Huntington's disease causes the mental illness, psychosis. He's psychotic, literally. He, no empathy for the victims, none. Grandiose thinking, you owe me a lie, you owe me information. You're gonna be trafficked. I don't care what you want. If I have to kidnap you, I will. I'll get away with it. You should see what I can do and get away with. I've heard all kinds of things. I've gotten a lot of confessions from Mr. Perry, you know, unfortunately via hack, from crimes that he's committed, because he likes everybody to know what he can do and get away with. Yeah, okay. Who all else did you tell that to? Because you know you've had undercovers on you. Who else did you say that to? You don't have filters left. So, it causes psychosis, hallucinations, paranoia, delusion. There's the mental illness. And impaired cognitive reasoning. There's the mental retardation that the shrink thought. I think he's got both. Severe mental illness, severe retardation. Who does the same thing every day that gets you the same results that you say you don't like? You don't like getting told on. You don't like getting caught. Because when you do it to Cindy, you do. Every day, all the time, for 7 years. You gotta, at some point, look at your results. And get a grip on reality and going, this is not working. It doesn't benefit even us to take her money. It doesn't benefit even us to take her privacy. It doesn't benefit even us to continue to cause one problem after another for her. It doesn't benefit even us to allow Mr. Perry to bother and pester her all fucking day. Every day. He doesn't have an alibi. He's not with his family in Lubbock. When's the last time everybody saw him in Lubbock with his family? We understand it's been a while. Well, but you want to run for office in Texas. So why are you always up here doing one crime after another to me? Why? It's not even benefiting you. Guess who's getting the intel? Guess who's getting something out of that? We are. We get the intel before you do it. We found out you have Huntington's disease. I did find out about the affidavit. What they wanted to do is do a second false arrest. I guess part of it was the prostitution by sock. There's no money changed hands for taking your shoes off. The money changed hands is for a lap dance. It's selective prosecution. They want to do the Stormy Daniel thing. There's no sex. It's not even about that. What it's about is, I don't want to poke a hole in the furniture. So I'm going to take my shoes off. I'm going to do the lap dance. I'm going to put them right back on. And other girls are like, my feet are... There was one girl that used to walk around flat almost all the time with no shoes on because her feet hurt. And, I mean, a lot of girls have a hard time with the shoes, and they take their shoes off because their feet hurt. whoever, when I ask a cop, I give a lot of lap dances to a lot of cops because Mr. Perry was having a lot of cops try to find something. You know, he's been telling people for a long time, I want to just find something. Just find something. I need a smear campaign. We need to throw her ass in jail. I get my headline, and I cover up my stalking and all the other crime that she's caught, that no one else caught. She caught it. Right? You get, at some point, you got to look at the results you're getting for what you're doing. You got to have a brain. You got to be able to put 2 and 2 together and go, when I do X, I get Y, and I don't like Y, so maybe I shouldn't do X anymore. Simple. You won't pass the cognitive reasoning test of a first grader. Either you will or you won't. You're not getting a date. You don't have a real love life. I think you're disgusting. You repulse me. I think you're a fat, lazy pervert. I think you're just a creepster. You don't mean anything to me. You're a job. But even if you weren't a job, I don't go out with men who can't respect boundaries. I don't go out with them. Creepster, peeper, peep and Tom, creepster types. It's beneath me. This world is full of good men. Why waste your time on a bitch like that? Mr. Perry, all you've done is destroy my life. I won't go out with a man who doesn't defend my honor and make sure I never miss a meal. You're not what I want. I would never fall in love with somebody like you. Not in a million years. You're a job. Even if you weren't, the second you invaded my privacy and took my money and smeared me instead of defending my honor, you're off the list. There's no fucking way. You disgust me. I feel nothing for you but deep, deep, deep disgust. Okay? So, I moved twice to get away from you and not have any conflict, not have any problems. I had to do it twice. I had to move twice, not just once. Start my life all over again in a new town. So, when I moved to Oklahoma, I just started trying to get protective orders. 11 times I tried to get a protective order Mr. Perry bought his way out of. The burden of proof is on me if I file a lawsuit. They didn't let me in court. They go have a bunch of ex parte secret backroom deal meetings, and everything's just dismissed. And then Mr. Perry runs around going, I won. Nope, I'm sorry. You won criminal charges. Remember, they're building a criminal case against you. You're not getting it. You're not all there. We have a goal. No one's gotten closer to that goal than we have. You're the one asking me who told on me. I don't make those kind of phone calls. We don't make those kind of phone calls. We don't look around to find out who's leaking. We don't have leaks. You do. Because you're causing some emotion in people who don't think it's cute when you beat down a woman and ruin somebody's life and try to starve a woman into subjugation. This is the 21st century. Most of us don't even understand that. We don't understand it. The misogyny, the equal protection, the laws are to be applied equally. There is no gender discrimination tolerated in this country anymore. No, not anymore. It's not tolerated. You compare side by side, apples to apples, TPD, Texas Rangers, our guys. We can get information at the snap of a finger. Can they? No, they cannot. You know why? Nobody trusts them. They trust us. They don't trust them. They've not shown they could be trusted. They've shown they're going to protect the bad guy. Charles Perry's going to get away with attempted murder, while they try to get Cindy on prostitution by sock. So no, nobody's going to talk to them. They will not be getting any information. We don't call around and say, please lie for me. We don't call around and say, who's leaking? Those phone calls we do not make, but you're making them. So they wanted to do this false arrest. No telling what else there was. They've tried to frame me for a murder. There's some girl that looks similar to me. They committed a murder, but she's more tan. Her skin's darker. She's heavier. We heard the witnesses say, more than one witness said, quite a bit heavier than Cynthia. Quite a bit heavier. Not a little. Quite a bit. Skin's darker. Hair's a blonde. Cynthia's is a white blonde. So then they start trying to get me to tan. They start trying to do all this stuff to alter evidence, alter appearances after the fact. Never mind, on the day of the murder, it's different. They forget that they're dealing with somebody who's Sherlocked their murders for the first time in their lives because they're committing murders. They're human traffickers. That's what they do. It's just organized crime. It's organized crime. Just like that. It's corruption. Just like that. That's what it is. It's abuse of office. It's collusion. Just like that. That's what it is. And when you started doing it to me, what results? What occurred? You got caught. We're quoting everything you say. When you cause me a problem, when you take my money, the longer I'm broke. When you invade my privacy, the longer you're peeping on me. And against my will. You never had my consent for that. It is the most disgusting, vulgar thing. It's rape. I don't care what anybody says. I feel raped every day, all day long. It's the nastiest, sickest thing on the planet. There's a guy at Disney in a lot of trouble for peeping. People are disgusted by it. What made you think they think it was cute if you did it? They don't. Remember who can get information and who can't. And the more you do it to me, you're provoking some emotions. I don't have any problem at all getting what you just said. She wasn't supposed to know there was an affidavit. I mean, look at your results. How bad does it have to get before you look at your results? There's a McNamara email. There's a Mike was drugged email. There's a ringtone email, a bunch of them. There's a pull her over, whole bunch of pull her over emails. They came from a police recording. Those go with a police recording. There's Judge McNamara talking. I need you to leave her alone so I can rule out entrapment. I'm quoting judges. Those are the results of your actions. A direct result of what you do to me. It's a different ball game. There are different players. It doesn't happen with your other victims. It is happening to me when you do it to me. Why is that? Get real. You gotta get real. We're sick of it. We're sick of it. Nobody invited you to Oklahoma. I didn't introduce you to my family. I would never take you around my family. Why would I do that? So, what point do you look at your results? Equal protection against a stalker, a murderer, a sex pervert. Justice was obstructed. It's nothing for them to impede court process. It's nothing for them to obstruct justice. It's nothing for them to go in and under oath lie and commit perjury. It's nothing for them to suborn perjury. This is just what they do. It's just, the thing is, when they started doing it to me, they started getting caught. We started documenting it. Now it's on the docket. Right? You played Candyland against you. You beat you. You didn't have an opponent. You didn't win shit. You won more corruption charges, probably. I don't know exactly what they have it listed as. But when you keep the plaintiff from being heard by a judge in a nice, normal, fair hearing, I'm one person with no law degree. You got 5 seasoned old fart attorneys. They're not new. They didn't just graduate law school. These guys have been at it a while. They can't handle one girl with not a lick of law school. What's the harm of letting her in court to show evidence she does not have? Oh, but you're guilty, and you want to make sure I'm not there to say that? And then you go around and tell people you won? You didn't win. You bought a judge. When you did that, you pissed people off. So I can get intel like that, and you can't. Snap of a finger. We're not calling around asking who's leaking on us, who told, how'd they find out. The thing is, that's what you're doing. How'd she find out? How does she know? How many times do we hear that a day? Lots. Is that happening with your other victims? No. New ball game, new players. And how many times do you have to get hit in the head with a bat to realize you're in a new ball game and this is new players? Right? You gotta quit sticking your head out of the dugout. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Equal protection to the laws, TPD. You can't get information. We can. People trust us because our interest is in the safety and well-being of women and children, and yours is not. Because what kind of asshole lets somebody who's a killer, attempted murderer, stalker? I mean, I've given you enough evidence, but the thing is twice when I tried, you guys told me we don't take evidence here. Well, that's not policing. I don't know what the hell that is. Here, watch this, and they'll tell you how to do your job right. That video right there. I want to like you, but you're making it where I can't. Because I like good cops who are not factually ignorant. That's a big thing for us. Do not be factually ignorant. It will bite you in the ass later if you are. You're going to make a fool of yourself at some point in time, because there are other people who are not. They're not factually ignorant. They're going to make sure they know their shit. I do. Don't talk to me. How many times have people heard me say that? Don't talk to me unless you know your shit. Because you're going to piss me off. I don't do the finger paint cop thing. I don't do it. Keep up with me. I'm not going to slow down for you. I'm not a special ed teacher. Know your shit. Just like that. Be good at what you do. I am. I'm living in hell for this. You've not lost your home. You've not lost your car. You've more than one car. You've not lost your family. You've not lost everything you own for the cause of justice, for the sake of victims, so you can tell the victims you're safe now. I have, and you know that. You sat and watched me go through it, and you didn't give a fuck. You didn't lift a finger for me or Mike. And people in law enforcement are having a hard time with that. It's not setting well. So, when you make phone calls and nobody will tell you anything, what are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to do? What are they supposed to think? Somebody was called that knew my dad. My dad was a cop and then a chaplain. And he said, you remember the chaplain we had in New Mexico? I'm not saying these guys are in New Mexico now. I'm saying they were when he was a chaplain during some of that period of time. It was like, I don't know, 20, 30 years he was a chaplain. And for mostly the sheriff's department, but he also did some of the other agencies as well. I think APD, I think New Mexico State Police. And I think, it was Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department. I don't know what, he may have done some of the other local, Valencia County maybe, I'm not sure. Anyways, he went to LA for training on the chaplain deal. And the guy says, those guys who are into sex exploitation and traffic and all that crap from Texas killed a cop in Oklahoma. Guess who caught it? You remember that chaplain we had, Lynn Hall? He caught it? No, he did not catch it. His kid caught it. His kid caught it. His daughter caught it. So I mean, you guys make all these phone calls trying to find out who's helping me, who's getting the intel from you to me. That's what's coming out of that. TPD. I'm not all I want is the bad guys in jail, and we all have a good, peaceful life where everybody's safe. So the victims are safe. Do you understand? All the victims need to be safe. They got kids hurt, and my kids hurt over what these men do. And they don't give two fucks. And so when Mr. Perry cries and whines because I called him a fucktard, no one gives two fucks, Mr. Perry. I'll get you a tissue. And everybody knows when you run around and go, I won, they're laughing at you behind your back. What planet are you on? I wasn't there. You didn't outsmart me in a courtroom, or your attorney. You didn't overcome the evidence I presented with your own. You didn't overcome my assertions and my allegations with fact. You went and you made sure I wasn't there. And you did something illegal. And then you ran out and said I won. And you pissed people off. Like a motherfucker. So what is really happening in this situation? The results of what you do. I've lost my ass. But what are the actual results of me losing my ass? I'll get it all back. See, I'm not. That's the thing. You're not getting it. There's an end game here. The end game is you're in jail. I get it all back. That makes it easier to go through this. Everybody's kind of like, wow, I can't believe she handles this so well. And I have. It's hard. It's not easy. But certainly easier when you know, well, the bad guy's going to go to jail and I get it all back. So at the end of the day, it's going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. You can give it back and get out on your own, and they'll show you some mercy. The judge doesn't have to give it to you. They can ask for it. They're not even going to do that, though, if you don't give it back and get the fuck out on your own. He said, respect the law. You're breaking the law. Respect the law. And respect her. Or I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to get up your ass and kick it as hard as I can. Have you ever been caught this much, sir? Looks to me like he's doing exactly what he said, and you're just not all there. You're not catching on. How many times were you caught before you did it to me, and how many after? How many times were you quoted? She wasn't supposed to know there was an affidavit. And yet I do. She wasn't supposed to find out about the Huntington's disease, and yet I did. When he pesters her and takes her money, things don't go well for us. We're seeing things happen we've not seen before. New ball game, new players, different players. I mean, this is just common sense, right? I don't know what else to tell you. I don't like you. There's not going to be a date. There's not going to be trafficking. There's not going to be a wedding. They wanted to do this. Okay, get a false arrest. Get her into custody. Have her family, her whole entire family, come together and tell her, you need to go with him. It's what's best. Right? Did you lie to him or did you threaten him? Or both? Because my family would never do that. Ever. Without undue pressure. Or they were misinformed completely. They would. I've known these people since I'm born. They would never do that to me. They would want me to be happy. They would want me to be happy with whoever I want to be with. It's never going to be you. You're a job. You were marked off the, if you weren't the job, you're marked off the list the second you invade my privacy, sir, and rape me. The second you I don't date somebody unless they make sure I don't miss a meal. The second you take my first meal, that's it for you. You're done. The second you cross a boundary, you're done. The second you don't defend my honor, you're fucked. See ya. There's a lot of men. I don't need you. Why would I need you? I need you like a hole in the head. I need you like the Jews need the Hitler. Hitler took everything they cared about, everything they loved, ripped families apart, and put them in a concentration camp and said, here's your food and shelter. You can live in a take your beautiful home I'm taking your steak, I'm taking your beautiful home, I'm ripping you from your family, and I'm going to put you in this, shed with lice and shit everywhere and feed you once a week. And you should be thankful I'm giving you food and shelter. Your life is, they never knew when they were going to walk outside and get shot in the head. Okay, well, it's not exactly the same, but there are some slight similarities. He took everything away from me. He ripped me from my family. I lost everything I worked for all my life in 30 seconds, because that's what Charles Perry wanted. Charles Perry thought that's how you get a date, or subjugation. And I got to eat for 6 months. I got to eat twice a week and take 2 showers a month, most of the time cold. I paid $20 for those showers. You wanted them to be cold, so they were cold showers. I slept in my car, and then you took my car. Right? I've kept away from my family because you went and told them all this crap horrible stuff you were gonna do to me, and I don't know, threatened them into helping you, and then when you get caught, you think they're leaking, then you're threatening them with the EPA. I'm gonna get the EPA to shut their business down. Well, I don't want that, so I stay away from them, so you can't accuse them of leaking or letting something slip. Did you let something slip? What did you say? We told you to have a poker face. You know how many times I've heard y'all say that? Many. That means a cop has a recording of that somewhere. What are we going to do with that? Any other victim can say that. New ball game, new players. At this, I mean, how long? I mean, at some point, you got to look at your results and go, and this is not the results we wanted. We can't keep doing the same thing, getting that result. Dude, that's just stupid. You're like a dog chasing his tail, or returning to his own vomit. I mean, what are you getting? What you want, doing what you're doing? I mean, we're just at a loss. So, you know, I mean, I got skin hanging off me. I look like a fucking... I looked in the mirror one day and I was like, oh my God, my butt was just... Skin was just hanging off. And I'm telling my guys, I'm like, guys, this is getting bad. I mean, you got to do something. This is getting bad. My skin is fucking hanging off me. And he says, okay, we're watching what they're doing in your Dasher app and not letting you make money. We're hearing them set up the orders. We're hearing all of it. So we heard him talking about making you have a cold shower. We heard him talking about making the shower really hot one day. And one guy says, don't do that. You're going to burn her. And the guy said, I'm going to burn her like she burned me. That was recorded. So when you have to sit there with your family and listen to yourself say that, you going to be okay with that? What are you going to do? How are you going to explain that to your family? I mean, it's going to court. You're not getting a deal. You didn't want that. We offered that a long time ago. You said no. I'd rather sit around and bother you. Give you more evidence. So, I mean, that's how these people think. It's disgusting. And that's why, though, Mr. Perry, we don't have any problem getting information, and you do. We don't have leaks, you do. You have to look at your results, dumb fuck. Nobody cries for you when I call you dumb fuck. They're crying for me because what you're putting me through. I mean, you're something. You got a lot of nerve. Then after he's put me all through that, tell me who's helping you. Why? What? You're shitting me with that kind of question, right? You're shitting me with that kind of question. Now, okay, so the guys are like, you got to eat. You may not be able to. There's going to be some bills. You're going to have to let it go. Right now, I need you to testify. You got to eat. So I had to start deciding on, there's certain bills, just don't pay them. I got to eat. They let you get there. They're like, here's what they're doing. We're sitting there. We're listening to them talk about it. They're going to let you make enough money for cigarettes, gas, and that's pretty much it. They're going to make sure you're just kind of spinning your wheels. So, a little bit to eat. Once I had to decide, I would go buy almonds at the Dollar General. That's $1. So sometimes, like, literally, that's all I had to eat all day. That's literally... There's one guy that kept saying, let her fucking eat. Let her fucking eat. Let her eat. He's having to argue for me. Why would anyone have to argue for someone to eat? Deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce. You're going to jail for that. And all the times y'all sat there and talked about it, doing that to me is intentional. It's evidence of intentional, malicious aforethought. How many do they have, Charles? How many do they have? New ball game, new players, and you're still out, with the T-ball. You're still playing T-ball in a hardball game. And I told you that in 2016. This is hardball. You won't make it. You're stupid. Watch. You've gotten away with this crime all your life. Not this time. Watch this. And since that time, we quote you every day. She wasn't supposed to know there was an affidavit. After the false arrest, after my whole family talks me into going along with this being trafficked deal, Mr. Perry, what traffickers do in order to tear down your life so you're easier to traffic is they get information into your personal finances that they shouldn't have access to because there's privacy laws. What Mr. Perry did is he forged my name to a marriage license 4 years ago. Not now. 4 years ago. I've not even seen it. You know how I found out about it? Not him. He didn't ask for my consent. I didn't sign it myself. Lucky Miller asked me about it. When I was in Manford, he drove all the way out to Inola, to my work, to the club, and asked me there. Why? Why there? Why not? I was staying 2 minutes from Manford Police Department. Why drive all the way to Inola? And then, because he did that, I had some follow-up questions. But when I'm talking to him, he said, "Did you sign a marriage license?" I think it's a forgery. I said, "No, I didn't sign a marriage license. Why the hell would I do that?" Yeah, I thought it was a forgery. I'm like, yeah, I've not seen it. I want to see it. I still haven't seen it. He didn't have it with me. He goes, "I don't have it with me." Okay, clearly I have some questions. And I get called on stage. I got to go on stage. Mike Neely is there. He comes back from the bathroom and they leave. I've been over the story 100 times. So I didn't get to talk to him. Well, I have clearly now all of a sudden I go, oh my God, I got a lot of questions. I'm thinking, I mean, I can drive to the police department 2 seconds down the road, but I'm worried. Why did he drive all the way to Inola to talk to me about this and not just drive right there? Well, David Robertson has his employees staying there. He's part of this. I was suing him then. So it wasn't long after that they were like he was murdered. Okay, so 4 years later, people are starting to question the forgery. This is a forgery. She didn't sign it. Where's the wedding photos? There's nothing to this. You made this up in your head. Right? I'm married to George Clooney because I watched George Clooney on TV and wrote his name on a piece of paper. If that's all you have to do, they don't even have to like you. So people are making fun of him. I don't know what's happening. You're getting questioned, right? All of a sudden he decides he needs pictures. Okay, well, let's get the family together and throw together a quick wedding. Get the pictures. Whisk her off to Houston Realtors. Get her sold. I get my money. We'll do a pretend honeymoon. We'll get her on a cruise ship and throw her overboard. Or she's a floater in the bathtub. She felt bad because she lied. We had her sign the affidavit saying she lied about us and her parents, keeping her inheritance money and the child abuse crap they were in trouble for. We'll do that. And then we'll go to the media with an affidavit that she signed that we wrote, not her words, our words, saying she lied about everything. Right? Dates and time. I mean, did you want me to lie about knowing Mike Neely was drugged before anybody else said it? Or did you want me to lie about it being confirmed months later in the depositions? These are things you guys don't think through. We think it's so easy, it's not fair. He wants me to lie. We're like, what? About what? I mean, we got too many dates and times, sir, where I said it before. And then you knew we had it, you did it anyway. And then we're like, well, I told you so. Okay, so they want me to sign the affidavit. It's rot in jail, or this is what you're going to do, like it or not. That was the plan for the last 3 weeks if I go to work, right? But I have police helping me, so I don't. We find out. You guys have leaks. We don't have leaks. I can get the information at the snap of a finger. Because the longer you make me broke, the longer you do this crap to me, the longer you invade my privacy, the more you contact me, everybody gets pissed off. You're provoking some emotions in people. They're not comfortable with what you're doing. They never have been. It's just now there's cops that are not TPD and not Texas Rangers going, we're not corrupt. We're the ones catching these guys. So if you want to talk to us, talk to us. And then they're trusted, don't you think? You have to develop rapport. First thing you got to do, Cop 101. When you're talking to people, suspects, witnesses, victims, you got to develop rapport. Or you're fucked. It's harder to get the case done if you don't have rapport. You have to get the information. Nobody's going to tell you shit if you don't have rapport. If you're not trusted. Nobody will tell you who's helping me. Nobody will tell you. Well, don't you think there's a reason for that? Doesn't that bother you? With me. Okay. Because you guys are pulling us over, giving us tickets because Dave called one in. Right? I got to go to court Tuesday. I got to drop everything I'm doing and deal with that. What am I supposed to tell the judge, Charles? Did you want to see the 800 emails here about me being pulled over, judge? By the way, I'm quoting judges, so you need to be aware of that. What am I supposed to say? I mean, we're still trying to figure out exactly how do we word this when I go in there and talk to this judge. Okay, I mean, I've talked to him once. I did the arraignment, and I said I'm not guilty. And he goes, well, we're really lenient on this insurance thing. And I'm like, yep, not here to talk to you about that. By the way, today, I don't have the car. If that's why you're asking, to make sure I'm not still driving a car that's uninsured, I don't even have a car. They took my car. So it's moot. But as far as the day on the pullover, not guilty. I need some discovery. And we'll go from there. How about that? Now, we're ready to go from there, Tuesday. So, what am I supposed to say to him, Charles? I mean, you guys went Tuesday. She's out of the hotel. We're going to have the judge deny everything, and she's fucked, and then she'll finally go be trafficked, right? Is that what you think? Okay, duly noted for the record, that's what you think. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. These guys are about to arrest you. I don't have an exact date. I don't know what all they're doing. I'm not in all of it. What I know is they're not collecting this stuff for nothing. What do you think they're collecting it for? We have yet to hear what you think they're collecting it for. When I do find out about an affidavit, I will never sign. I sign my words. I speak for me. You go speak for you, okay? You want to go out to the media and read that fucking affidavit to the media, go have at it. But I'm not going to read your words. I read my words. I'll sign what I wrote. Okay? That's the way it is. You're in a different ball game and different players. You're seeing things happen you've not seen before. I'm different than any other victim. Right? At some point, you got to look at your results as they really are, not like you wish they were. Reality is, you fuck with me, you get caught. That's why the shrink thought you have severe mental retardation and severe mental illness, and maybe Alzheimer's or senile dementia or both, because you're not looking at what you have here. He's doing X and he's getting Y, and he says he doesn't like Y, but he keeps doing X. So either he's not got any idea what's happening, has no fucking idea what anybody says, can't understand it, or he likes Y a whole lot more than he wants to admit. I mean, likes getting caught. I don't know. You bother me, you get caught. You bother me, you get caught. You bother me, you get caught. You contact me, you take my money, you get caught. Right, Calvin? Me, we're naming your people. Calvin is bald and fat. Lucius. Sanjay, your hacker. Geppetto, your witch. Now, there's a new one on the witch. We understand David Robertson was asked about the witch, Geppetto. And he said, I don't know anybody like that. And he was told, well, be very careful when you say that. Because if this guy's arrested for harassing her, for witness tampering, for coercion, or as part of that, because they're recording what he says too. I promise you. They got a wiretap on him too, I promise you. So if he has said something like, I'm doing a seance and it's not working, is she have sage? And they got that recorded. If she's saying it, they probably do. And they produce him in a criminal case, either as a witness or he's arrested also. And then you've lied, that's another charge. So if I were you, I wouldn't lie now. If you know this guy and he's your, you're consulting with him as a witch, don't go in there and say he doesn't exist. Because if they produce him in a criminal case against you, you're going to have a problem. It'll be worse than if you had just said, yeah, I hired a guy, he's a witch. Right? Ask Sanjay. Ask Beverly. Who's Beverly? Who's Monique? Where's Monique right now, Charles? Any other victims have names of your people? It's different ball game. Different people, different players. New ball game. Right? When he pesters her and takes her money, we see things happen we've not seen before. Charles doesn't get a date. Charles doesn't want it or love. Charles is told on. We get information. We get it. Not you. I mean, at some point, you got to look at what Y really is. When you do X, you get Y. You're so monotonous about the failure for so long. Our shrink is starting to go, what's wrong with their mental status that's happening? What disease does he have? He's got something. No normal person does that. It's not even benefiting him. Why is he doing the same thing that benefits us like a motherfucker? But it's not benefiting him at all. And yet he keeps doing it. You're not getting information, we are. When you cause a problem for me and you hurt me financially or any other way, it evokes some emotions with inside some people with a whole lot of power. You didn't know who I am. You don't have a clue. So in side by side, here's the thing, people are having a problem trusting police. So when they're police they can trust, they really like that. You have the whole defund, we've got in our country the policing is a problem as far as corruption, and I mean, they want to just defund them, no, get rid of them completely. That's not the answer, in my opinion. Not even close. But you got to do something, because you're gonna have another corrective event. The Derek Chauvin thing was not one thing; it was a buildup of many things. But what happens is there's a lot of stuff that it goes on and it shouldn't be, and then you got the pendulum swinging all the way to the right, and then you have a corrective event. There's a big blow up. That was the Derek Chauvin thing. Now it has swung all the way to the left, and people want to get rid of police altogether. No, and that is not the answer either. Then usually over time, everybody kind of calms down a little bit, and then you got the pendulum's back in the middle where it should be. So we saw everybody hit the snooze button and go back to sleep, and unfortunately, that's not what the answer is. And it might result in, unfortunately, at some point, defunding of police. That's not what we want. We need a police. There are certain things only police can do. But if you allow corruption in it, and it's systemic, you're asking for some problems. There's going to be another corrective event. That's history. It's historical. History repeats itself. And if you don't learn from it, you're destined to repeat it. And you're stupid. Smart people learn from other people's mistakes. Smarter people learn from their mistakes. Smarter people learn from other people's mistakes. In other words, you're going to learn from your own fuck-ups, but if you're really, really smart, you learn from somebody else's. You watch other people make a mistake and you don't do what they do, right? So, maybe this is common sense. This is common sense shit. And, Mr. Perry, I don't care what you think. Nobody understands why you think I do. I'm never going to help you. Nobody understands why you think I would. No one understands why you think that, except you have severe delusion from Huntington's disease. You don't know what's real and what you imagined. You don't know, do you? We're pretty sure you have no fucking idea what's happening. So, I mean, that's what they wanted to do. Do the false arrest, set her down. Tell her you're going to sign the affidavit that we wrote. It's our lie. It's our lie. It's not your words, it's our words. It's what we want said. And then you're going to go be trafficked, and your family's here, and you're going to you're going to pretend you're going to do this wedding so I can get pictures, and then go around telling everybody 4 years after the fact, we got, the forgery is not a forgery. I'm going to cover up the forgery with wedding photos that are fraud and fake. Because there's no way I'd agree to that. No fucking way. I won't even go on a date with you. I won't even call you. I've tried 11 times to get a protective order. That means I don't want anything to do with you. You're the most repulsive piece of shit I've ever met in my life. You get anywhere near me, I'll kick your balls up into your brains, and I kid you not. I think everybody knows that. You know you would have to put me in handcuffs and do a false arrest to have a conversation with me where that didn't happen. Most likely. The only other place that I would have a conversation with you where that didn't happen is if you're arrested, when you're arrested, not if, when. And if it was done by a local, that local sits you down, Mirandize you get, everybody knows you've been informed of your rights. Waive your right to counsel. You can watch CSI and you're informed of your rights. You waive your right to counsel, and then you can explain to me why the fuck you've done all this. Okay? Otherwise, it's not going to be a conversation. But that's what you had planned. So I didn't go to work. So now my guys are adding up how much money did that cost her. So that's something that we've got to add to the amount of money he's going to pay her back. He can do it on his own, or we're going to make him, it'll be done for him. He's going to pay her back. You don't mistreat people like this and think people are going to help you. Is it Greg Abbott? Is it Jim? I'm here. We have a lead. I'm like, oh my God. So he's going to false arrest me, do that, do the wedding photo, get my family to help. Like they would never do that on their own. There's no fucking way. There's absolutely no way. Then whisk me off to Houston, get his money, Oh, we'll do a honeymoon and we'll go on a cruise and throw her overboard, or she's a floater in the bathtub. Then we just go the affidavits to the media, the lies to the media. And then we just go, oh well, she committed suicide because she felt bad about lying. None of that's true. They would have to. I'm not suicidal, first of all, and I didn't lie. You are. You're asking me to sign a piece of paper with your lie on it, and I'm not going to do it. So you're trying to do this extreme duress to force me to. Deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce. Right? The false arrest. In the state of Oklahoma, when I'm researching what constitutes a contract, because I sued you for breach of contract. By the way, there was no judicial decision made on whether or not the bond conditions constituted a contract and whether or not they were binding to you. They weren't to me. They were not to me. Specifically, Oklahoma law says that a person cannot be bound to a contract they sign when they're in jail. It says under duress, one of those occasions would be while they're in jail. I read it. All those times when you ran off our customers and I had nothing to do, I was studying that. I'm still at a loss, though, as to what to tell the judge in the traffic court case, since we have 800 emails of Utah that go with a police recording that's going to pop up in a different courtroom. Where y'all are talking about having me pulled over. 2 guys said no. One said, I'm going to go to the bathroom when she blows by here. But how would he know when I'm blowing by there? He said, I'm not doing that to her. What an asshole. The other one said, I'm not putting my name on a mentally ill man's bad decision. I'm not doing it. I'm a cop. I'm not doing that. Because I'm a cop and I know that these things don't end well when you have a mentally ill person making a bad decision. Also, by the way, mental illness often deteriorates like cancer. You get cancer, you don't treat it, it begins to kill all the cells around the cancer. It starts to kill everything. You pretend it's not there. Pretty soon, though, it's going to kill all the cells around more and more and more until the guy's dead. Now you got a body. Now he has to admit he's got cancer. Okay, mental illness is no different. This kind, anyway, this is like an aging degenerative disease. It isn't going to get better. It's going to get worse. Mr. Perry's going to continue to do things that are whack job, that are bizarre, because of the disease. So what day is he going to go postal? And then everybody's going to go, oh, well, we've known for some time that he had Huntington's disease and nobody did a fucking thing about it. Cindy kept saying something. Right? My guys have a bigger case. I know that they're keeping a very close eye on that, though, because they're concerned about you going postal. And they know locals aren't going to do shit. They're not doing shit. Your attorney's not doing shit. Your family's not doing shit. So I know that they're keeping a very close eye on Mr. Perry's mental status because they're worried he might go postal. And since they've been investigating him, they're worried they might get blamed. They didn't arrest him fast enough. But the thing is they got a bigger case. They want everybody gone at the same time. They want all the victims arrested. They want to arrest them all at the same time. They want them all buried in everything they've done, and in a way that nothing gets tossed out. So I'm just saying that's the goal. They have a goal. They have a strategy, and what we're doing is working. No one else has done what we've done. You're in a different ball game, and it's new players, right? New ball game, different players, right? Are you able to tell that? We think you're not. We think you don't know. You do, you touch a hot stove, you get burned. And you continue to touch that hot stove. And every day, all you ask me is who told on me? Who told on me? Is it this person? Is it that person? Is it that? Who's helping you? Please help me. Well, why would I do that? I need you like I need a hole in my head. And like the Jews need Hitler. You've done a lot to me that he did to them. Much, much smaller scale. But I did lose everything I have. You did take everything I have. You did rip me from my family. You have tried to kill me more than once. It's just I'm not standing in a yard with a sniper shooting at me. But the shot, the bricks being thrown at me on the freeway, the arsenic being put in my drink. Let's throw her overboard. Let's take her on a cruise and throw her overboard. Well, if a policeman hadn't told me beforehand what you were talking about doing, I might have gone for that. I might have said, oh, sure, I'd like to go on a cruise. If I didn't know all the bullshit you've done before you do it, I might fall for your lies. That the reason it doesn't work for y'all is because we find out before. Duh. Alright, so I'm gonna hang on. Alright, so we've set up this blog to document all the threats that Mr. Perry makes on a daily basis, because they're every fucking day. This podcast will end up on here too. And, I mean, there's a bunch of them. You can go from page to page and see each and every threat as it happened on the day it happened. Also, we have here, you know, the going over erotomania and the mental illness and stuff that causes a person to stalk. Mr. Perry, part of the human trafficking is stalking. And, you know, I don't know. That's my granddad, police chief. His name is still on the front door of the police station. In Roswell, he was county commissioner. He was written about in a detective magazine. I mean, this is the house I grew up in. Mr. Perry had no such life. So I was, for sure, of higher social standing. Oh, I have, you know, I did, what do you call it? That's my great-granddad. He's a captain of detectives in Roswell. Those are my children. They were hurt deeply by what you did to us. They're not the only ones. A lot of kids have been. That's me. I mean, see, people used to call me a boat child when I was a kid. The boat children were Vietnamese during the Vietnam War that had come to the United States. We got some Asians somewhere, I guess. They used to call me, they used to say, you're a boat child, aren't you? And I'm like, no. That's funny. Okay, so this is my work. There's Rick Perry. I mean, I did government reform on a federal level. I didn't do really state. That's my son's dad. That's Little John. No, Charles, that's not a secret hint. Little John's not helping us. Have you guys pestered him about it? Are you helping her? Yeah, he didn't have to put up with that. No one does, but he sure shit doesn't. Okay, so we got that page. Then we got, I mean, we've documented the perjury, the fraud. A lot of questions around Justice Scalia's death because he died in West Texas when I was in jail. We were all in West Texas, odd as this might sound. Scalia is a First Amendment guy. He said flag burning is free speech. Well, Mr. Perry, while I was in jail, was planning. I'm gonna let her out of jail, because he did a false arrest. I was arrested for doing something legally required in the state of Oklahoma, and he knew that. So I hadn't done it. I hadn't committed a crime. I did something by law you got to do in the state of Oklahoma, and Mr. Perry knew that. And we've already been over it. He had me charged in Lubbock for filing a false police report in retaliation for a public servant doing his job as a senator. There's no tweets, there's no emails, there's no text, there's nothing about having any kind of disagreement with Mr. Perry's politics. I helped him get elected. There's a lot of emails going back to 2011. He did this in 2016, talking about him stalking me. In the state of Oklahoma, you have to file a police report. He knew that. It wasn't even a week. TPD hadn't collected any evidence at all. So he obstructed justice. He caused the loss of my evidence. He committed perjury. That's why our shrink says he's unable to identify his legislative duties. And he's not, and he has no idea what state he legislates in, because you don't legislate in Oklahoma. But while you have me illegally incarcerated, the charges were dropped after a year and a half. While he has me illegally detained, and arsenic is working its way out of my system, if he didn't give me arsenic, believe me, he would have made sure I had a blood test, do a big drama queen press conference and say, see, she's claiming that I poisoned her. We just had her tested. There's nothing in her blood at all. But that's not what he did. He absolutely made sure there was no blood test because he knew they were poisoning me. They were trying to kill me. He still is. So what's the difference if you're a Jew standing in a yard and you got a sniper shooting at you, or you're not sure when you take a drink, is that going to have arsenic in it? Is it going to kill you? It's scary, just the same. It's a much smaller scale, but you're doing a lot of things Hitler did, is my point. I need you the same as the Jews need Hitler. A hole in the head is better, right, than you. So, We found out about the affidavit. I've told you and told you and told you and told you no. I'm not signing that fucking thing. I signed my words. I'm going to go say what I think. I'm going to go say what I feel. I'm going to go say what I want. You feel free to have your own press conference and you go say what you think and what you feel and what you want, okay? And then let everybody else say what they think and what they feel and what they want. But you don't sign your words and you don't say your words, type them up on a piece of paper and then make me sign that. It's not going to happen. And you were going to try to, again, illegally incarcerate to me to force me to. And we all found out before. What the victim has. The stuff y'all plan doesn't work on me because I have help. And I guess you guys were told that. You're not in a war against one woman. Surely you know that. You guys, you're fixated on her while they're going behind you and around you and over you and above you. Right? New ball game, different players completely. The results are completely different too. And you're not able to get that. You can't. You're just not all there. Okay, so Scalia, they're like, we'll send her home, harass the shit out of her, like starve her and crap and make sure she doesn't have any money. And then when she complains about it, we'll say she's harassing us. Or when she gets mad because we took everything she has and calls me a fucktard, I'll oh, everybody feels sorry for me. She called me a name, teacher. And everybody's like, oh my God, please, really? Are you shitting us with that? Are you fucking kidding? You took everything she has and you're mad that she had a normal reaction to your abnormal bullshit and called you a fucktard? I'd call him worse than that. Yeah. Did not set well with other people when you did that. So we got more out of that alone. Just so you know. Your leaks are pissed. Every day that I'm broke, every day that you're still peeping and creeping, and every day that you contact me and I told you not to. My guy said her privacy is not to be invaded anymore. You don't contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly, ever again. She's not to be broke even one more day. You give it back and you get out today. Or I'm going to do it for you. The same way I tell her what you just said, I get that from you and give it to her. I'm going to get up your ass and kick it as hard as I can until you give back what you took and you get out. Like you've never seen in your life. And that was in March 2020. So look how much more we got. Calvin, Geppetto, Lucius. We got names. Beverly, Desiree, Blankenship, James, Reuben, Dickie, Richard, Andrew, Jeremy. What's the other guy's name? There's a bunch of names we got. Look, you got to look at your results. Muffin Man, your nicknames. We got your code words. Papa John's means deliver the traffic victim to the buyer. Hansel and Gretel means lure him to this certain location so we can do some sort of crappy thing to him. Like use their Dasher app to lure him down this street where we got a cop waiting to pull her over. Give her a ticket. Now I got to deal with that Tuesday. What am I supposed to say to that fucking judge? What am I supposed to say? I've quoted Judge Kirkendall and I've quoted Judge Parker. How do I know there was proceedings in Kirkendall and Parker's court? How do I even know that? I know that because you got police all over you, law enforcement all over you, and it's law enforcement people trust because they've shown they can be trusted to be looking out for the safety and the well-being of victims and citizens. Side by side, apple to apple, compared to TPD, you tell me who is more trustworthy. Who is getting the bad guy? It doesn't help to attack a victim. It doesn't work. You're going to piss people off. That's not what we pay for. I'm just saying. That's just the way it is. People think like they think, and they don't like corruption. They don't like crime. It was second on the list of polling in midterms. People don't like crime. Why did you think they would be okay with yours? Why? Nobody understands why you think that. Then you have the nerve to say, is Greg Abbott helping you? Is Jim a leak? You got the nerve to say that and think I would answer you? You're off your nut. And you got a lot of nerve. Okay, so we got this all done. Justice Scalia's death was questioned by William O. Ritchie, who is the commander of the murder cops, retired, of DC homicide. And his questions were, what happened in West Texas that he didn't get the autopsy or the procedures followed as they would have been had he died in DC? Something's up. Well, that's when they were planning, we'll send her home, harass the shit out of her, and then when she complains about it, we'll say she's harassing us, and we're going to take it before the Supreme Court. Well, he wouldn't go along with it. You were planning all that right then when he died. And I'm there, and you're there, and we're all in West Texas. I'm sorry, but it looks a little fishy. We're not going to, because there was no investigation, we don't know exactly, we're not, and, I've not seen a tox report, I don't know. Then I'm not gonna accuse you of something. I'm gonna say, because of where he was, because of what you were trying to do at the time, we believe you may have killed him. I'm saying that now. We believe it's possible. William O. Ritchie is an experienced murder cop, and he thought something was up. Okay, Texas Rangers, apples to apples. Which cops are more trustworthy? Which ones can get intel and which ones can't? You or the guys helping me? I'm just saying. There's a reason for that. Trust is earned. Rapport has to be built. There's that. Okay, so we have all this. Perjury, contacts within the former state of Oklahoma. Mr. Perry did. There's death threats in text from his guys. I mean, it's just endless, the crap they've tried to pull. So TPD, can you imagine that people get a little salty at you when you got a victim and the offender's still out running around? Look what I can do and get away with. And so when you're calling around, go, are you helping her? And nobody will tell you anything. Maybe that's why. It's not cute. People don't think that's funny. You got to build rapport. It's detective cop, good cop 101. Build rapport. I'm in criminal justice school. I grew up in a house of a bunch of cops. I had a police escort everywhere I went from my birth until they all retired. So there's that. Okay, so we got that. We went over police officer Manfred, police officer Mike Neely's deal. He didn't do it. There's no way. I said he didn't do it. He was drugged. And Mr. Perry wants me to now lie about that. I said it in March 2020 before anybody else said it. That was confirmed in depositions in May. In March 2020, when you start threatening me to kill me too, with a second time with a syringe, we're going to fake a medical emergency, get her to help. Then we'll tell the guy she was helping has a virus, she needs a shot. We heard your hitman say, what do I do if she won't take the shot? You said, you make sure she takes the shot. You tell her she'll die if she doesn't. It was strychnine in there. Then we'll just tell her family it was an unfortunate allergic reaction. Hitler is shooting at me in the yard. What day do I go to work and I don't come home? What day do I go to work and I come home in a body bag? I was having to tell my son that before my false arrest. I'm going to go to work. Hopefully I come home. It's possible I could go false arrested because I'm getting threatened with that every day, or I'm in a body bag and you got to go to the morgue and ID me before you ever graduate high school. Let's hope that doesn't happen. So what's the difference? You're a Jew. You go out in the yard. Some maniac psychotic is shooting and you don't know what day it's going to be you. Or you walk out of your home and you don't know what day you're going to sip something and that's it for you. Michael was sipping something and it was it for him. Didn't go home. Did he? People are salty, TPD and Texas Rangers, that you let a sex offender do that and nobody did shit about it, and now you're attacking me, and so nobody's going to trust you. When you call around and ask for information, you're not going to get any. We get it. Snap of a finger. I wasn't supposed to know about an affidavit, and I do. And I said, no, I'm not signing that thing. I only say my words. Charles wants to say something, then he needs to go have a press conference and say something. But I'm not gonna look at his words on a piece of paper and sign my name to that bullshit. He gets near me, in fact, even if I was handcuffed, if he did another false arrest, Mays County, out there where y'all are, what's the plan? I guess Mike's mad. I kept finding out. Mike, he's got leaks. I told you, people are wildly uncomfortable with what y'all are trying to do. If you're a part of it, please stop. We can get information, snap of a finger. I didn't go to work. I didn't go to work for weeks. You're a threat. And you're a threat to me at work. And now everybody's mad that I don't have money. I don't have money because of you. What that did for us, as a direct result of what you did, Mr. Perry, I got intel. I got intel today. You can't get help. Nobody will help you. Nobody knows why you think we would. So as a direct result of your unwanted contact, as a direct result of you making me broke, as a direct result of your invasion of my privacy, what happens, you dumb son of a bitch? We get information. We get intel. Don't get in my face like I made you broke. He actually does that, you guys. I made you broke. I have money. Come with me. Go. Just go be trafficked. Every fucking day. Who told on me? Is it Jim? Is it your mom? Today it's Jim. He asked about Jim a lot, all day. And is it Greg Abbott helping you? Conversations that are crazy. Psychotic crazy. And even if he did that, I still might kick the fuck out of him. If he got anywhere near me, I still might kick his balls in his brain. Maybe then he would be able to think like a normal person. I don't know. So, okay. So, there's my whole Sherlock of Mike Neely's deal. There's my doctor. He wanted to make me seem crazy. You still are. You're still trying to find a way to make that work, we heard. Today, somebody said, they wanted to make it look like she's schizophrenic. So Charles is like fucking with her in her phone. But the thing is, she's got her phone and she's yelling, "Stop calling me." He hot mic'd my phone. That's why I do that. Or I'm just mad. I'm just yelling at the, your microwave might not be working and you're yelling at the microwave. Fucking microwave, Sometimes it's like that too. But if he's in my phone and he's calling me, am I not going to yell, "Stop calling me"? I'm not going to take his phone calls. Maybe I'm just yelling. But I guess apparently he tried to make me to do something to provoke me to yell. And didn't realize I was going to say, "Stop calling me," because he's calling me. Well, that doesn't even make sense. But anyway, I guess they tried that and it didn't work out. We're at a loss. Half the shit they do doesn't make sense. And we're like, oh, wow, that's funny. I'm trying to make her look schizophrenic. Where's the Geppetto? Where's this Geppetto person? Is there really a Geppetto? Oh, no, I've never seen one. I don't know. Okay, well, just make sure that he didn't pop up in another courtroom somewhere. Because maybe he's arrested with you. Or they produce him. Then what are you going to do? Shit yourself? Yeah, that'll help. Okay, so here's what Dr. Russell says. That basically, Charles has developmental disability. Or, I'm sorry, that's not what she said. She's comparing him to her patients that have developmental disabilities. If somebody's got Huntington's disease, that would be accurate. They're poking and trying to get your attention. And I'm comparing him, Mr. Perry, to like my children when they poked me and they were little. I'd be talking to another adult. And the whole conversation's right here. Anybody could read the transcripts and listen to it. And your little children, you're trying to, right there. You're trying to talk to another grown-up. And my kids would come poke. And I'd have to tell the other grown-up, "Excuse me a minute," and look at my child. "What is it that you need? Can I go, Mom, watch TV with that kid," or whatever it was he wanted. "I need the bathroom, I'm hungry," whatever he wanted. And sometimes I would try to ignore him for just hoping he would go away for a minute so I could finish the conversation, thinking I'll go get him in a minute. Well, sometimes he was going to poke me until I turned and said, "What is it that you want?" Everybody has seen Howie, "Mom, Lois, mama. Everybody's seen that. My kids literally used to do that. And I had the ringtone for them as that, Howie, or Stewie, I'm sorry, not Howie, Stewie, because my kids actually did that. But that's what she's comparing Charles to. Like, he's a stalker, though. My kids are kids. They're cute. You got to pay attention to your kids. They need you. You're their mom. You got to. But this is different. This is a stalker. This is someone who shouldn't be contacting you at all. And he just won't shut up and leave you alone. And so she's saying sometimes what you have with Charles is he'll stalk he'll escalate more than you can ignore, because preferably you ignore. But sometimes you can't. She wrote this very nice letter, that I'm tired of him intruding in my life, butting in and concerning himself with stuff that doesn't concern him. Like today, when they were asked, what is she going to do? And the guy said, well, she can't live here and she can't go to New Mexico, and it isn't up to you. If I know that you said that, you ought to know it's not up to you. Because I got that. And no other victim has that, right? Right. I want to know the name of any other victim that has that. Because I'm pretty sure what this is new ball game, different players. Hardball. And you're seeing things happen you've not seen before. Ever. And still right now, to this day, you are unable to properly assess your situation. And you're not understanding what happens. What are the direct results of your actions? And for us, it's so easy, it's not fair. I'm willing to go through some sacrifices, knowing what the end of result will be. Our goal is you're in jail, and I get it all back. And nobody's gotten closer to that goal than me. And it always seems you forget who you're talking to. Mr. Perry, you always forget who you're talking to. And we don't even know what to say to that. We don't know. Clearly you have no fucking idea what's happening. Do you just like getting caught and told on? I do know there was an affidavit, and I said, I'm not going to fucking sign that bullshit. It's not my words. If you want to say what's on that affidavit, go hold a press conference and say it. Those are not my words. I only sign off on my words. I'm not going to sign off on yours. And nobody speaks for me but me. Nobody speaks for me but me. And I know you all sit and have a meeting trying to figure out where I'm going to live. And it's none of your business, and it's not up to you. And I don't know half of you people. I don't even know you. Then everybody runs around going, how'd she find out? How'd she know? And nobody will help you. They're helping us. We're getting the info. We don't call around asking people to lie. We don't call around asking who our leaks are. You do. Those are your results. The direct result of Mr. Perry making me be broke. Yeah. You don't get your lie. You don't get your date. You don't get a cover up. We get intel. Stupid. Alright, we've been over this before, but I'll go over it again real quick. Please, Mr. Perry needs everything repeated over and over before it clicks for him. This guy, she's trying to reason with him. How does it
make you feel?
How does it feel to have a camera in your face? Hoping he'll go, well, I don't like it. Okay, then don't do it to me. That's not what happened. Whack job here goes, oh, I got pictures of you. You want me to go show you? Didn't understand a fucking thing she said. Failed to respond appropriately. And then he threatens to get them. Same thing. I get the same thing every day. I'm going to get you. I'm going to take. I'm going to kidnap you. I made you broke. Look what I can do and get away with. So, TPD, everybody's like, gosh, if I did that shit, I'd be in jail. Why isn't he? I mean, come on with this. People are sick of this. People are sick of the corruption. They're sick of it. They called for defunding on a national level over shit like this. It just happened to be in a different state, and it happened to involve, Lucky Miller died. There is loss of life. Right? Okay. So, the fuck? Did you think that people were going to trust you? They're trusting us. Well, that's all I'm going to say. Okay, so this is Cuckoo Bird Charles, too. They do the same thing. You can't reason with crazy people. And you can't fix stupid, and he's living, breathing proof of that.
You're filming my father and my fucking sister. How does this make you feel?
The one that put all those scratches on your arm? You want to see the
scratches?
I got scratches. I can show you the pictures right now.
No, I want you to leave my family fucking alone.
Keep hanging outside of there.
Hit the road. Dude, I promise you, you're gonna get yours and you're gonna
I don't
get
give a fuck. You can bring whoever the fuck you want.
That's okay. You're
You
gonna
can bring
Is
the
that
whole
a
fucking
threat?
army. I don't give a fuck.
How does this make you feel? You're filming my father and my...
Mr. Perry, I don't care what you think. Nobody understands why you think I do. When you contact me, as a direct result of your unwanted contact invading my privacy, we get more information. Is that what you want? It seems like it is. Because I keep doing the same shit that pisses us all off, and then we get more. When you make me broke, same thing. stupid. Come on.
That's okay. I don't care.
I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's why
No, I don't. Just talk
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes and
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes.
Where I live is none of your business, butt out. You are not to contact me anymore. You don't contact me again. It's unwanted. It's disgusting. I don't like you. Fuck off. Act like a grown man. Take your dress off. Put your doll down. Get your big boy pants on. And fuck the hell off. You don't like people. You want the money to traffic me. And everybody knows that. No one is going to help you. They never have. I've never helped you. Why would I start now? I've never helped you. I'm not going to start now. I've worked very hard and I've given up a lot. Because we're collecting a whole lot of evidence nobody's ever done before to put you in jail. The goal is you're in jail and you'll never hurt me again. You got a lot of nerve asking who told on you. It makes everybody want to hit you, just so you know. I can get information like that. That's the result of your actions. Now, shut up and fuck off. You don't have a choice. You act like this guy maniac. Fucking psychotic maniac.
I don't want to ever talk to you.
What
I don't ever
happens-
want to hear your voice to you.
What-
Please,
what
God
happened-
bless you, but
what
please leave
happened?
me
What
alone.
step-
Please leave me alone. Please, stop following
You
me.
won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't.
About
Stop
that.
stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's
No,
why
no, I don't. Just talk
leave
to
me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes and
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you.
What
I don't ever
happens-
want to hear your voice to you. Please,
what
God
happened-
bless you, but
what
please leave me
happened? What
alone.
steps-
Please leave me alone. Please, stop following me.
You won't call the cops.
Stop. I don't.
About
Stop
that.
stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's
No,
why
no, I don't. Just talk
leave
to
me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes and
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you. I
what
don't ever
happens-
want to hear your voice to you. Please.
what-
This man.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave
You
me
can tell
alone.
all you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumb ass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave
You
me
can tell
alone.
all you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What are you a prostitute? I'm curious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay. I don't care. You
Leave
can
me
tell
alone.
all you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes and I'll leave you alone.
Oh my God. It's too damn early for this shit. Leave me alone.
How do you dress like this? What?
Why are you dressed like a prostitute? None of your business. But nobody asked you, did they? When you contact me, we get more intel, and nothing else has happened in all these years but that. I don't care what you think. No one understands why in the fuck you think I do. You making me broke gets us more intel. Everybody hates you for putting me through that. Look at your results and get real. We're at a loss. We're like, wow, I don't even know what to say. Repeat, repeat, repeat.
Are you a prostitute? I'm curious.
Sir, please leave.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave
You
me
can tell
alone.
all you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone. Please leave me.
So I guess part of the intel we got was that the affidavit is supposed to be a lie, not just for Mr. Perry, but for Lynn and Kathy too. And you promised them that there would be a big headline, right? Vindicating them from all the stuff Cynthia caught. And they didn't want told. There's 40 cops getting that information from you to me, dumbass. What are they gonna do? You're not just fighting me, you're fighting them. And you had 6 years to get me to slip up, and then another 5 weeks. And you didn't. You didn't get me to slip up, did you? No, you did not.
Leave me alone! Please!
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
Leave me alone!
Alright, so this is what we got over the last 24 hours. That you know, everybody's starting to notice I was never in the courtroom. Burden on proof is on me. I've not been to law school. You have 5 seasoned attorneys. And, that's causing you some problems. You gotta explain that. And you didn't win shit. You bought a judge. How many did he buy? Got this one. You know, they can't complain if somebody else is keeping her safe. But guess what? Guess who people trust? Apples to apples, it's not you. We're getting the intel, you're not. Nobody's answering your questions, are they? You let me and Mike threw us under the bus. You weren't there. So people don't trust that. Why would they? You're there for the bad guy. You're attacking victims. People aren't stupid. They're not going to trust you. They trust us. Same for the Texas Rangers that are helping Charles. This one too. What is this? Yeah, I'm not. She wasn't supposed to know there was an affidavit. There was supposed to be you know, I got asked the other question Mr. Perry asked me every day is, what's your price? Give back what you took and get the fuck out. That's been my price always. I'm gonna starve you until you lie. Right? I'm gonna starve you till you lie. So for 6 months you did. You took everything I had and you did the little Hitler thing on me. And I don't know what day I'm gonna walk out my door and I'm gonna drink the wrong thing and die. So people notice, they're not dumb. Yeah. So she wasn't supposed to know that. Here's the thing. She does know there's any other victim have that information before. This only would have worked if she didn't know there was an affidavit and you were going to do another false arrest and you had her family there and you were going to do a photo shoot to cover up your forged marriage license. You know, I said no to that, didn't I? And then we'll go on a honeymoon. We'll take you on a cruise. And we'll shove you off the side. Then we've already got our lie and our headline. We don't need you popping up again to dispute it later. You think they're going to let me live if I sign that? Oh, fuck no. They'll want me dead quickly. So that I can't pop up later and say, they made me do it. I was coerced. Yeah, they have a plan. And we know the plan. We know it before you did it, not after. When you contact me, we get information like that in a snap of a finger. Sir. When I'm broke, we get the information like that, snap of a finger. So your plans don't work out because I find out beforehand, not after. When you invade my privacy, snap of a finger, we find out. She wasn't supposed to know about the false arrest. She wasn't supposed to know about the affidavit. And that her parents were promised to be part of that affidavit, so they get a smear campaign too. They get to besmirch her as well and cover up their bullshit, right? That was the plan. We found out before, because he said her privacy is not to be invaded anymore. You don't contact her or any member of her family ever again, directly or indirectly in any form at all. Don't do it. She's not to be broke even one more day. Whatever you broke, you fix it. Whatever money you owe her from taking it, you give it to her, and you get the hell out of her life, or I'm going to do it for you. They say it and then they show you. The direct result of your unwanted contact, your invasion of my privacy, and you taking my money, is we get intel. And then I find out before and I don't go to work. And everybody's going, she was supposed to be in jail and not able to talk about all this. How'd she find out? How did she know? We heard it all weekend. We've heard it for 3 weeks. We find out before. New ball game, different players. No other victim has all this, do they? We got all this. That I'm smart. Oh, one guy said, I bet she's exhausted. Yeah, I am. Look at this. To go through so much horror and to have lost so much from Mr. Perry taking it and ruining it and robbing it and blowing up her life. I bet she's exhausted. Because sometimes it's one thing, I mean, major catastrophic life-altering losses he's causing her. Sometimes right after another. And, golly, you gotta have, it's exhausting to maintain mental strength to be able to do that. She's doing it. I've been doing it. I know the end result, that's why. The goal is you're in jail and you can't do it again, Mr. Perry. So we do these, I mean, look at all this. They got that to me in jail. They get information from you to me like that. That's what you need to worry about. That's what somebody told you. It's about time you start realizing you're not fighting her. You're fighting somebody that you don't know who they are. And while you're fixated on her, they're going around behind you and in and up and down and inside and out all around you, and they're getting intel, and people trust them. And they don't trust locals. They don't trust locals. Locals didn't do the thing they should have done. They threw us under the bus. That's Fabian's name intersecting with the word hope. Fabian. The one you butt in. You're here. You're represented as the word me. You're the little selfish buddy in. You cause fear and sadness, and people do not like feeling fear and sadness. We don't have problems getting information. You do. We don't have leaks. You do. This is the McNamara email. I'm going to have false arrest her. It was dated October 27th, 29th, 2015. He's going to false arrest me and coerce me. You've not stopped. You threaten the same thing constantly. I'm going to take her car. The last sentence there. It's not legal, but I'm going to have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. It's easier to traffic a woman when you take everything they have. All their personal documents, driver's license, birth certificate, social. That's just what y'all do. But when you do it to me, you get caught. You still don't know that. Right? This is what trafficking is. This is Oklahoma City PD. At least they got something going right here. What's my driver's license? 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 Using DoorDash to have her pulled over. Look at the dates on these things. That's May 2022. This guy said I got to take a bathroom break when she comes by. I'm not doing it. We can't just pull her over. Another guy said no. One to proper ID. Pull over. Pull her over. Pull her. Do I show? I mean, this. I got to show the judge all this. Pull her over. Pull her over. Pull her over. What courtroom have these already been played in? Right? Do a kidnapping. Pull her over. Pull her over. Take her computer away from her. Take her computer away from her. Take her computer away from her. Get her in a shelter. Take her computer and her car and her phone and everything. She'll be easier to traffic. Yep. See? Which police department has these recordings? That's who you, 6 years in a strip club, not one slip up. And then 5 weeks. Here's the thing with the waitress, is she tells me when she called her friend who quit working there to fill in for a waitress instead of coming to me with it. I'm like, and then she goes, I won that. She's like getting in my face with, I won that. You didn't win that. Look who's waitressing tonight. It's not you. And I'm like, I'm not having this fight. I'm not. You can win that one. You can win it. I'm not fighting with you. I'm not waitressing at all. I'll dance, and that's it. And so, but I injured myself, so I left. And somebody has told you and told you and told you, you guys had 6 years access to her, and then another 5 weeks. And you fucked it up both times. Because if you want somebody to trust you, You don't go at them. You don't cause a problem. You don't bully them. You don't make things hostile. You go in, you be friendly, you give them money, you build some rapport over some time. You don't ask them weird questions. You don't, you don't get weird with them. I mean, you just be nice. And then pretty soon they'll let their guard down and they'll start slipping up. I do it. That's how I do a sting op. And if you're really good at it, you can get people's guard down pretty quick. There's a lot of ways to do it. I'm not going to teach you. I'm not saying what that is. But I mean, we've flat told you here's the basics of a sting op. Not because because I'm trying to help you, because I'm trying to make a point of how stupid you guys are. So you don't know who's helping me. 6 years in a strip club, not one slip up. Then another 5 weeks. You guys take my money and make everybody hostile. So then I'm guarded more than ever. I don't slip up. You definitely don't slip up when you're guarded. So you have no idea who got me this, who has these. So I'm like telling the waitress, the guy said, if you're not paying her and you're not nice to her, she bails, she's leaving. And once she walks off, you have closed the door forever on any chance of getting anything out of her at all. Don't piss her off. Because you need dialogue in order to get somebody to slip up. And you guys have fucked it up and fucked it up and fucked it up and fucked it up. And she was one. So I'm thinking, well, you can win this battle. I'm going to win the war. I walk out of there. And for now, 6 weeks, you've been trying to get me back so you can do all the stuff that I found out about that I was supposed to be in jail and not able to talk about. There's an affidavit. There's a fake wedding shoot. There was my whole family there waiting to try to coerce me to committing crime with you, being trafficked and prostituted out. So, yeah, she won. She won the battle. I let her win it. That was my choice. I controlled that. I said, not fighting with you about this. You win. I'm not waitressing. Bye. And then your whole thing got fucked up. And I did find out about the affidavit. I did find out about the false arrest. I did find out about you having my whole family there to try to make them coerce me into doing something illegal. And I said no. So there you go. When you fuck with me, you get caught. Nothing. That's as a direct result of what you've done to me, you get caught. And it's been that way every day since the McNamara email, that first one I showed you in 2015, right up to today. Right up to today. I didn't go to work. Now, we got more because everybody mad that I'm broke. You fuck with my Dasher app, you fuck with my work, and I lose money. Oh, boy, howdy, everybody gets mad. Deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce. Interference with commerce with intent to coerce. That's a McNamara email right there. That's the first you know of it. And they have the power to get that to me in jail. And you're worried about me? You're shitting us with that, right? But that's who people trust. You have leaks, we don't. I'm not told who the leaks are. I wouldn't help you if I knew. We're sick of you. Everybody's sick of y'all. They're sick of watching me be broke. They're sick of watching you make me be broke. They're sick of you putting me through hell. One problem after another, after another, after another. They're sick of Mike sitting in jail. We all know there's no way he could have done that. They're sick of you blowing up families and hurting people. Sick of you harassing my family. So what he said, I'm going to end up with this. You either get it or you don't. We get it before, not after. We get the information before as a direct result of your unwanted contact, your invasion of my privacy, and you won't get your hands out of my wallet. I'm not going to be trafficked. I said no. I want nothing to do with you. You fuck. You do not have my consent. I'm not signing your affidavit. Those are your words. You want to say your words, hold a press conference and say your words. And then let everybody else say what they want to say. I only sign my name to what I have to say. Lynn and Kathy did exactly what I said they did. They're not going to get a lie either. Don't make promises you can't keep. You're in a different ball game, different players. And you still don't know that. You still have no idea. You're seeing things happen you've not seen before. When he pesters her and takes her money, we see things happen we've not seen before. We keep getting caught before. Everything blows up because she finds out before. And Charles is like, let's do it again. Let's do it some more. I like getting caught. Let's do it again. Let's do it some more. And we're all beating our head on a wall. Literally. So he said, my guy that gave me this puzzle here said to you in March 2020 and again in July 2022, her privacy is not to be invaded anymore. Get the fuck out. You don't contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly, ever again. She's not to be broke and have to ask for help. You took it, you give it back, you broke it, you fix it today. Respect the law, respect her, and get away from her. And you didn't listen, so we got all this. And Lucius's name, and Geppetto's name, and Beverly's name, and Calvin's name, who's bald and fat, and Lawrence, and Andrew, and James, and Reuben, and Dickie, and Richard, and the Muffin Man, and now your code words, Hansel and Gretel, pin the tail on the donkey, means you got the victim finally in custody, right? Papa John's means you made delivery. Rapunzel means she finally agreed to be coerced. Rapunzel let down her hair finally. People laugh at you. This Rapunzel is not letting down her hair. She's choking him with it. Different when you do it to me. Look at your results. Look at ours. Look who people trust, who they don't. They know we're looking out for their safety and their well-being. And the TPD is not. They have not proven that. Nor has the Texas Rangers. They have not proven that. So they're not going to trust you. They're scared of you. They are. They're scared of y'all. Mays County, they're scared of you. They're not going to trust you. They're not scared of our guys. They're scared of you. You can't get people to trust you when they're afraid of you. Okay, so then you got, we got to get back to Texas so we can do more to hurt her. Use her family to kidnap her. We got one about that. Use her. I need you. This is Judge Kirkendall. We're quoting judges. I need you to leave her alone for a couple weeks so I can rule out provocation and entrapment. People have a problem with it when the victim is in jail and the offender's still out offending and making more victims. TPD, they do. They have a problem with it. Why wouldn't they? There's a certain reasonable expectation of a police officer to keep us safe. Just saying. Not be part of the crime. Duress and coercion, right here. You have put unbearable pressure on me to lie for you, and I won't do it. Living 6 months in your car, getting to eat twice a week, otherwise you grab a $1 bag of almonds from Dollar General, and that's it. And twice a week you get a shower, and Mr. Perry tells Brandon out at the Flying J, make it cold. Call us when her car's, when she comes out there on the 18th of January. Called them and told them they were recorded. We've got the email. You've got the email. When she comes out there to take a shower, Brandon, call us. We're going to take her car away from her. I typed it up in an email. I didn't go. I went the 19th. Guess what? On the 19th, when I took a cold shower, I walk outside, my car's gone. From the Flying J, where Brandon is the manager. How do you explain that? We had it the day before, not after. What does that mean, Charles? I don't think you even know what that means. That we have that. She wasn't supposed to know there was an affidavit. And that her parents are included in it. This was lucky. We got tired of being asked to pull her over. We need her whereabouts. Matt Powell pissed off so many people. Constantly calling to Oklahoma. What's her whereabouts? We need an address. That's in... Gosh, that's in... Didn't he have Kelly Rowe? 2018. Didn't even have Kelly Rowe call Sapulpa and tell them, I'm afraid we have a deep throat, boys. We need to know how she keeps finding out every time Matt Powell calls wanting her address. Did he do? I heard he did. Yeah, well, you got a lot more than one. We're going to get her kicked out of her house. And then she did a couple days later exactly what he said. This is dated the 9th of February. This is dated the 15th. Before, after, before, after. Can you not do before and after in your head? Where's the marks on him? This was a recording. Point out the marks on Officer Neely that looked like he was in a fight, in a drunken brawl. Where are they? He's going to have bruises. He doesn't have any. My son was hit 3 times. There was no, and that was it. Nobody died in that fight. But look at the difference between him and Mike. Yipes. Look, and same thing in the arrest report. There's 0 probable cause in that arrest report to think he could have killed anybody. He's a victim of attempted murder. I tell them, March 2nd. He was drugged. He didn't do it. Sure as shit. May. We gave him Narcan for drug overdose. He wasn't treated for being knocked out in a drunken brawl. Well, how do you beat somebody to death? Their head back and forth so hard their head comes off their body. He died of internal decapitation. The ME said he was hit so hard it was like a car crash. It was like he was in a car crash. How do you do that when you're unconscious? Because you've been given an overdose of opioids and you're having to be treated with Narcan. I said it before, not after. So what do I lie about? That I knew before anybody else said it, or that was confirmed in depositions? Which one did you want me to lie about? I mean, come on. Use me as a test case. We'll send her home, say she's harassing us every time she tells on us, or calls us fucktard after we took her car, her home, and everything she owns. Been called a lot worse than that. Yeah, a false arrest isn't going to vindicate him, nor is my murder. I said that January 2016. So, I mean, there's just so much here. It would take me another hour to go through even part of it. We get it before, not after, sir. He said, don't invade her privacy. Don't contact her at all. Don't invade my privacy, bitch. When you contact me, we get more. When you invade my privacy, we get more. The longer I'm broke, the more we get. The longer Mike's in jail, the more we get. He said, give it back and get the fuck out, or he's going to do it for you. 6 years in a strip club, not one slip up. Your waitress won. She did. I told the owner, I'm not going to do this. I'm not fighting with her. That's all she wants to do is fight constantly. I don't even know that. I don't even understand that. She's like, I win. Look who's waitressing. It's not you. I won that argument. And I'm like, you did. You're right. You won the battle. Now watch me win the war. So I've not been back out there. And now you're going around. She was supposed to be in jail and not able to tell us on us and about our affidavit and our second false arrest and our prostitution by assault and our, all the illegal shit we've done over the past 5 weeks. Fraudulent, photo shoot of a wedding she wants nothing to do with, and a kidnapping, and to get her finally Papa John's over to Houston Realtor so I can get my money, kill her, because I promise you, if I sign somebody else's words and change my story, I'm dead. They don't want me to come back later, pop up again and go, oh, well, they made me say that. I mean, we know that before. 40 cops are going around while you're fixated on me, getting all this shit and giving it to me. You're not wanted, you're not loved, you're told on. Look at your results, stupid. It doesn't get any easier. I mean, it's so easy, it's not fair. When you contact me, we get more. When you contact me, we get more. When you contact me, we get more. When you contact me in any form at all, we get more. When you invade my privacy and make me broke, we get more. It has been this way every day for 7 years. Do you like that? Yeah, okay. Anyways, done. Listen, I'm not a special ed teacher. Call your nurse. I don't know what else to say.